So we've made it to round 2, another first round sweep against an Atlantic Division opponent. Could that be a sign of things to come for this summer in the game world? Can we make another run to the Stanley Cup final? We got a long way to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. And we're going to take a quick look at the round 2 matchups. And we're going to take a series preview to see what we're dealing with in the Columbus Blue Jackets, the CBJ. So just a quick look at who's playing who. I think this may have been at the end of the last episode when we eliminated Boston, but we'll just do it here as well, just in case. I don't know how future me is going to edit stuff down, so prepare for all scenarios, am I right? So, Columbus, Columbus. We'll just start there. I was going to say Colorado. I looked at the Avalanche logo, meant to say Colorado, said Columbus instead. Columbus is playing our team over there in the East. So focus on the East side of the bracket. We have the Blue Jackets. First time meeting. These two teams will meet in the playoffs unless we met Columbus in the prior seasons where I didn't start playoff games. I don't remember who we've played in the playoffs, but we are meeting the Columbus Blue Jackets in round 2. Tampa's playing Philly in round 2 for the right to advance to the Eastern Conference Final. So no matter what, there will be a brand new Eastern Conference Final matchup this season. And then on the west side of things, Colorado, not Columbus, Colorado is playing Dallas, and then Edmonton is playing, technically I guess you could consider their rival, the Vancouver Canucks. They're very close in geographical proximity to each other. I personally consider them somewhat of a rival, the nice Canadian Western Conference rivalry. Certainly they should be a rivalry meeting in the playoffs with an opportunity to go to the Western Conference Final. Now, I don't remember what the Western Conference Final was last year, but the Edmonton Oilers are a pretty good shot at making the Stanley Cup Final again. So are we, and it would be fun to have that rematch. So we're going to look at the Blue Jackets, not our roster. No point in looking at our roster. Let's look at the Columbus Blue Jackets and what they've done through 7 games. They played 7 in the first round, and their leading scorer was Joakim Kamel. 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points. He led the team in points. Patrick Laine probably leading the team in goals. He had 6 goals in 7 games. What a first round for that guy. We're clearly going to have to be paying close attention to what number 29 is doing on the ice surface. 29 years of age as well. So Laine is right there, sitting right in the prime of his career. He wants the Stanley Cup. He hasn't won it yet in this universe as well as in real life. Martin Kaut, and we go down the list, just looking at all the players, all the stats. We'll look at overall ratings. We should probably actually do that instead. So the easier way to probably actually do this is, I've realized, we can look at the stats, but we can look at the overall ratings of these players. We have Kamel at 86 overall, Laine at 92, that's pretty good. Martin Kaut, 83 overall, third line forward. Adam Bockwist at 86 overall, top 4 defenseman. Beckman at 79, Shinnikov is 83, Ken Johnson is now 85, that's pretty respectable. He's got good potential in this game. Jake Bean, former Hurricane defenseman, 83 overall. Rem Pitlick, lovely last name. Sillinger, 87 overall. So there you go. There's a little bit more, strength up front. First line forward, probably playing on the same line as Patrick Laine, but not producing many points at all in this playoffs. 1 goal, 1 assist. And Troy Stecher at 80 overall. Dominic Simone at 78. Zach Werenski, 87. There's your elite defenseman right there. Braden McNabb, 82 overall, along with Dylan Coughlin, a former Knight as well. Mason Appleton, Shane Bowers, Alexei Protas, and that is it. So, the Columbus Blue Jackets, decent team depth-wise. A little bit of star power. I would say that obviously their star power kind of ends at Laine up front, combined with, who did we say it was? Was it Sillinger? Yeah, Cole Sillinger. That's kind of their firepower on the forward side of things up front, along with the decent Kent Johnson as well. And then on the back end, Bockwist. Yeah, Bockwist pretty good, pretty respectable there, combined with Zach Werenski at 87 overall. And it looks like Elvis Merzlikins has been the guy going in net for all 7 games played. This is really interesting, though. Braden Holtby has come in in relief. So that means Merzlikins has started all 7 games that's what I take away from this. And then Holtby in relief somewhere along the way. But Merzlikins rocking a 900 save percentage. So was Braden Holtby through 1 game. 900 through 7 games for Merzlikins, and hopefully he will be leaking in this series, much like Jeremy Swayman was for the Bruins. So that'll do it for the series preview. Let's get onward to the gameplay. Welcome to round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, a familiar place for us. We were here last season. We've made it back to the second round, and last year we ran into a very competent Washington Capitals team. We play another team in the second round that is wearing the red, the white, and the blue. This time it's the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I don't really have any expectations. We already knew that Washington was going to be a difficult opponent last year because they had Alex Ovechkin, who at this stage, it seems that he's retired. I have found nothing on Alex Ovechkin in this universe beyond Season 4, what was Season 4 last year. So he has not stayed for a 5th season of the career mode. He is retired. And we were able to take care of the Washington Capitals in 6 games. That's a bad start. I iced it. I'm just going to stand beside my net while they chase it down for the icing. And we can only hope to repeat the success we had in round 2 last year, do the same thing again. It was a far from easy series against the Capitals. Like I said, it wasn't 6 games, but Washington gave us quite the scare. And one of the all-time greatest episodes I've ever recorded in this series was the one that went to overtime. I don't remember which game that was. I want to say it was a game that was played on home ice, so it was probably Game 5. I think it was Game 5 of that series against Washington. Round 2, Game 5, whatever the episode number is. Yeah, for me, that was an all-time classic. A fun episode to record, fun to play, and my heart was pounding through my chest the whole time. It's a reminder of what's on the line. That was a almost slick move by Kamel. He's trying to stay after it. But a reminder of what's on the line. A trip to the Eastern Conference Final is again on the line for us. We got to win 4 games to get there. And if we do get there, we will be playing whoever wins between Philadelphia and Tampa Bay. So, that could be a pretty fun series. We could have 2 Southern teams meeting in the Eastern Conference Final. There are no Canadian teams remaining on the east side of the bracket either. We met with 2 Canadian teams in last year's playoff, playing the Canadians in round 1 and then the Ottawa Senators in the East Final. And in the West, we do have 2 Canadian teams still standing. They're playing each other in round 2 at this moment in the game world. Edmonton and Vancouver. They're playing for an opportunity to go to the conference final. Edmonton would be repeat conference finalists as well, should they make it there. I don't have to tell you too many times that there is a potential Stanley Cup final rematch. I'm probably going to mention that every episode, but it's just really exciting knowing that both teams have advanced. And if both teams can advance to the next round, I'm really going to be talking about that potential matchup. That's another thing as well, isn't it? Is Edmonton, I'm pretty sure Edmonton ended the Canadian Stanley Cup drought last season. I don't know if a team had won it from Canada before Edmonton last season. It would be really cool to go to Toronto in the career mode. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it would just be kind of cool to go to Toronto, play in the giant magnifying glass that is Toronto, where everything you do, especially as a goaltender, is under a magnifying glass by the fans and the media, and win a Stanley Cup there in this universe. It would be crazy to do that in real life. I'm telling you, if you play for Toronto in the real world and you go there and you help win a Stanley Cup, you are going to be a Leafs legend for the rest of your life. You won't have to pay for dinner or anything. You won't have to pay for anything in Toronto ever again for the rest of your life. If that city ever sees a Stanley Cup again, it will be insane to witness. That city will probably cease to exist. Fans are going to go so wild. I'm not saying they're going to riot, but that city will go crazy. I'm surprised that after all the heartache and the hardship Leafs fans have gone through, that the city does still exist. Every year, Toronto does something to their fan base. There's a rebound goal from Asa Lindell up from the defense, his first goal in this Stanley Cup playoffs. And once again, we have fortified an early lead on the opposing team. I don't know if has there been a point in this entire playoffs where we have not led a game. I say not led a game, I mean as in trailing a game. I don't think we've trailed a game yet, have we? Have we trailed a game? We've scored first in every game. I'm pretty sure that's what we did over the Bruins. Score first and your odds to win the game improve dramatically. I can't remember Game 3 against Boston. I want to say that we did score first against Boston, but my memory is failing me a little bit right now. That's going to be an awkward play. Back to the point, Coughlin. Will he shoot it? He will. We will also make a save. Wide open was Timo Meier, and he will go right toward the area of the net until he turned and went to the corner. I was going to say he was going to go to the net. Almost turned it over. Lindell trying to create a second goal. What a save by Merzlikins, an answer save. Johnson shooting into my glove this time, so I have an opportunity to make a glove save to Kotkaniemi. Look at that Jackets and that Hurricanes fan there in the corner. You know they're just loving each other's company. You know, I have a great story. I was at a playoff game. Hold on 1 second to that thought. Just 1 second to my thought. That was a great save. But I have a good story. I was at a playoff game in PNC Arena, not this past season, but last year when Carolina played Boston in the first round. And I sat beside, that'll be the end of the period. So we'll just continue the story at the beginning of the second period. All right, so to continue my story, the second period's about to begin, the puck is about to be down, but I was at the Bruins-Hurricanes playoff game. I don't remember which game it was, but I was at a first round game, and I sat beside this really awesome Bruins fan. And this guy was super chill, super friendly. We chatted just about the game of hockey and about both teams. We talked about the Bruins, we talked about the Hurricanes. It was very cordial, very awesome guy to sit beside. He was very impressed by how loud PNC could get, and PNC is going to get loud now in the game because Andrei Svechnikov has scorched us to a 2-0 lead right out of the gate in the second period. This one is going to go short side on the blocker side. Yes, Merzlikins kind of pulled himself off the post. But yeah, that guy, he commented, he said, man, this place is underrated for how loud it gets. And I said, yeah, you know, people, they mean it when they say this place is loud, one of the loudest buildings in the league. You could argue the loudest. I don't really care about that too much, to be honest. But anyway, he was super awesome to sit beside, and great company for that one. And we shook hands after the game, and it was just very chill. I don't really know what else to say about it. It was just a nice experience. By that, I'm not saying I have any predisposed opinions on Bruins fans that are negative. It's just sometimes you might sit beside someone. You never know who you're going to be sitting beside. You might sit beside someone who is a complete asshole, and you just hope that you sit beside people that are very friendly and cordial like that while still rooting for your respective teams. Here we go. Shot. Just shoot it. Just shoot it, Sillinger. You should have shot it. I could have had an easy save. I never know how many saves I'm going to need in a game to make up save percentage. This is just a rout by Svechnikov. What a shift by Andrei Svechnikov. He's avoiding the checks. And I don't mean checks as in the nation, but as in body or stick checks. Sillinger. That was Lindell. I don't think it got to me. Bad turnover. And stripped away by Domi on a great stick lift. Now, if he had a little more hustle, he gets a shot away despite that. In that scenario, so it's a delayed call on the Hurricanes, and we will go to our first penalty kill of this game. The classic interference penalty. Nevertheless, we're going to have to kill it off. All right, this is Patrick Laine's music. You just know he is waiting in the wings for a power play opportunity. He may not be out here to start, actually. It may be the other power play unit to begin this one. Empty. Did they take a penalty? They came right out and took a penalty. I got this. No, go get it. I'm blocking the forecheck so you can get it. This is the benefit of it being a delayed call. Let me have it. I know how to score goals. I have one. I scored one in Florida earlier in the season, and now we're going to go to 4-on-4. That was a really interesting sequence. Okay, so it was a hold in the corner. It was to my right. I didn't see the penalty when it occurred. So forget about killing off a penalty. We're at 4-on-4, and even when 4-on-4 play expires, we will get very close to 30 seconds of power play time, unless there's a penalty that I have no idea is going to take place. Well, that was uninterrupted for Jokiharju. This is Svechnikov uninterrupted to put it past the blocker side again of Elvis Merzlikins. He is indeed leaking. He has given up 3 goals, 2 of them to Andrei Svechnikov. That's a breakdown on Columbus's part defensively. It's a tremendous uphill battle for the Columbus Blue Jackets to climb at this moment. Trailing by 3 goals already. We tend to get out to these. Oh my God, please get back in the net. This is a stupidity waiting to happen. That was a mistake on my part. Oh, shoulder save. Let's just face it, I am a monster and I can do no wrong. Even when it appears that I can do a lot of wrong, I can still recover. Got back into my goal crease in the right time. Oh, big rebound, but cleaned up nicely by my defense. And we're going to be going to a power play here. We are going to get a power play in about 10 seconds in the game. Kamel lost it. Yokiharu takes it away from Kamel. It's going to come back this way in the neutral zone. He's protected around a couple of Jackets defenders. Larkin running out of time and space. But because we're on a power play, we get a chance, and we're going to dish it into the back of the net. Jarvis on the rebound. This game looks like no contest right now. It is indeed no contest. It's a 4-0 advantage. Merzlikins falls prey to the seated animation as well. Immaculate second-round dub incoming. We look unstoppable. We truly are like a hurricane, an unstoppable force. It isn't immovable because it is moving. I wanted to be the unstoppable force. Beckman gets one right back for Columbus, so no shutout in this game. Hey, I'm not all too bothered by that. I mean, it's obviously disappointing to get scored on. That kind of settles things down as well for the Blue Jackets to just get one after it seemed like the floodgates had opened up for us. With the power play goal, it gets them right back to within 3, but it's still a huge mountain to climb here. I just want to bounce back, make saves after giving up that goal. I just want to stay in the game. That's fired wide of the net, and Domi will have it. D'Angelo has driven the net and gone to the corner to receive a pass. Domi will work with it. Behind the net, Larkin had space and has it behind the net again. Has it in front of the net now. And Merzlikins holds on to it for a moment. He played it in the end. Jackets completely under duress have turned it over. Svechnikov's going for a hat trick. Domi is gunning for the back of the net. Somehow that didn't go in. That was an interesting play. Svechnikov can't wrap it, and Merzlikins holds it right there. It's about time we got a shot. It's taken Columbus a long time to generate another shot since scoring that goal. Okay, I had plans to cover that, but never mind. Who's this penalty against? It's against us all. So we will go to a penalty kill. We haven't actually been on any real penalty killing scenario yet because the Jackets took a penalty right away when we had the first penalty killing opportunity. And is Laine there? I think that's Laine on the point. I think he's playing the point on the power play, which... Oh, no. Oh, no. D'Angelo, just join Yarncrow in the box there. Why not? What is he thinking on this clearing play? You know what I'm thinking? What I'm thinking is we get scored on this power play. This is going to suck. I have got to hold my ground here. Hold station with the penalty kill. I know we've got this 3-0 lead, but, you know, I have a line score to think about. The puck has ended up in the bench. Here it comes. Oh, no. There it is, indeed. You got to have a save on this. You've got to stop this shot. Oh, why would you drop your arm down to expose the lower part of the net when it's right there? That came really, really quickly into the 5-on-3 opportunity that the Jackets have. And that's what I'm talking about. And we may not come out of this game with a 900 save percentage. The Jackets may just barely put on... Oh my God. I really can't play that. It doesn't matter. We've cleared it. But there's no guarantee that we're going to see even 20 shots. The Jackets may be lucky to put 22 shots on net. I can't give up another one. And we're on this long penalty kill. The hardest part about that goal is it was bang, bang. It was right off the face-off. But we were square to that. We were there. We were playing that short side angle. I think we should have just maybe come out just a little more than we were. But my goalie dropping his arm to make the save, where there's an easy save to be made, and he exposes the whole top part of the net, which is exactly where he's going to be shooting. There we go. We actually made that save that time. It's almost like, what do I have to do to just get simple saves sometimes? Okay, I did too much movement on that, and I thought Laine's chance was going to get to the net. We will end the period here, and maybe we end it with a goal. Merzlikins snags it out of the air, plays it off to end the period. Probably not a bad idea. I just want to get to the end of this game without having my confidence, my save percentage, and my line score totally destroyed. There's a nice save to start us off, and that should get us through the kill. I am about to become a monster unleashed. Nice save on Bachwist again. The game gives me a quick whistle. All right, I see you, Columbus. You might be able to get your shots in here. They've taken a few decent ones to start this period away. Now, I don't know why I forgot about Kamel, but the Jackets have that guy. And when we've played Columbus in this career mode, he's been pretty solid for them. They've been able to score some goals on me. And he's got an X factor. I don't know if he's like a star player, but he has an X factor. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what his X factor is. You combine him and you combine Line. That's a lot of firepower, a bit of star power. You can see the X factor over his head there on the right side of the screen there on the face-off. And of course, there's Zach Werenski, who can also blast the puck from the point. We've seen that happen playing against the Blue Jackets in prior seasons. I mean, we know what we're going up against. There is definitely some goal-scoring capability throughout the Jackets lineup. That was a dumb pass by Werenski. Read all the way. Rebound, goal. And that turnover leads directly to a goal right away. I mean, we capitalized instantly off of that turnover. Rebound and Timo Meier into the back of the net. That's ball game right there. I mean, it should be ball game at least. You would imagine that a 5-2 advantage with 15 minutes to go, even with 15 to go in the third period, should be plenty of insurance. Too much deficit for Columbus to overcome. I don't know, wilder things have happened like that. I'm glad I was ready for that. I was in the middle of changing the camera. Thank you for making this a little harder than it has to be at times. I appreciate when my teammates do that. That's in the back of the net. Well, there's no question about the insurance now. It's 6-3 or 6-2. Don't give Columbus an extra goal. Yeah, Columbus doesn't need any more goals than they do have right now. They have 2 of them, to be precise. Hopefully we leave it at just those 2 goals. Remember, we have to shut down Line A, and maybe I should leave this to the professionals, although technically I am a professional. Or am I just a wannabe professional? I'm an amateur in a professional environment. I mean, we just love scoring lots of goals for the home fans. We've certainly treated them through 3 games now. This is the 3rd game at home in the playoffs. We've treated them to some really intense, high-scoring, and exciting games. How does that go in? I bet that went 5-hole. I think that's Kent Johnson, centering feed, nice saucer pass, lands right on the tape of Chinnikov. I got there, adjusted, and you know what? It just hits the arm. It's not 5-hole. It hits the arm and goes between the body and into the net. That's a leaky one. That's a tough one, and it's more on my goalie in the game than it is on me, really. There's nothing more to be said about that. And the tough part about that one, that's 3 on 20 shots. So you know for a fact we're not getting back to 900 save percentage in this game, which is the lesser of the 2 concerns. The bigger concern is what's the line score going to look like coming out of this one, having given up that 3rd goal. I guess if we win and we can win by a large margin, I might be fine. Can you handle that behind the net cleanly, please? It's always the line score. I always freak out about that because it is a very important metric. I freak out about the line score because it's a really important metric that determines who is going to play games in the playoffs, who starts, who gets the starts. And I haven't experienced this yet. Thank God I haven't experienced it. But if the line score dips to a certain point, you're no longer given the opportunity to start games. Now, if my line score dips below being a starter while in the playoffs, then does Coach LaBelle pull me out and give the start to Nedeljkovic? Or is it determined on other things? I don't know what the biggest determining factor is once you're in the playoffs. But to be named the starter to begin the playoffs, the line score plays the biggest role. At least that's what I've found. Stats are taken into account clearly by the game, but I don't know what rules the day when it comes to once you're in the playoffs, if that makes sense. If you know what I'm talking about. Once we're here, now that we're here, can I be pulled and no longer start games? I mean, you name me the round 1, game 1 starter. I think you would just stick with that to the end of the playoffs. I mean, you would stick with that the whole way through, wouldn't you? I don't know. This is an EA Sports game. It's kind of weird in many regards and unpredictable like that. You never know. I mean, I might never, if my line score sinks low enough, I might never get another start in the playoffs. It's not that low right now, but I don't want it to start getting in that direction. As much as we can make the line score trend upwards, that's my goal. What was that? That was worse than the Cody Ceci shot.
To the blue line, Barry on the other side. Ceci shoots and he missed the net by a mile.
The Jackets are really messing with my head here. Oh, thank you, Svech. The graceful Svechnikov in the right spot at the right time on that play. No breakaways. We gave one up in Boston, and I got scored on it. I know what it's like to get scored on a freaking breakaway. Way too much in this game. We can play at the top of the crease. Will there be a pass? That's got to be a pass. If the AI takes it to the corner, it's more than likely going to be passed. Just dump it in. play the smart 200-foot game, get it all the way down the ice, get it away from my net, and give me a chance to relax and breathe and reset. I know I'm not seeing 30 shots in this game, so no point in me worrying about the save percentage. We'll recover it in the next games in this series, and that's going to go in. Max Domi with his second of the game. 8 goals poured on, and, well, I don't know if he's going to particularly marry you, random NPC lady in the crowd. It would be nice to see, considering we're sitting at 22 shots faced from Columbus, it would be nice to see another 2 or 3. That would at least make it look a little less worse than it is. Don't always need to ask for shots on goal from the AI team, because what ends up happening, they'll probably end up scoring. And what would be worse is to give up a 4th goal. No matter how many shots I face, I can't give a 4th one up. Just the last 13 seconds to go in this first game in the series. Complete domination extreme from the Hurricanes, owning this first game, taking an early lead in the series. 2.9 to go, one more face-off. What a start to the second round. We've clearly come prepared. That Jackets fan is miserable that's sitting in the corner beside the Hurricanes fan. We are going to storm surge into game number 2 with an 8-3 victory. We should have never given up the 3rd goal, but maybe I'm a prophet. I say I'm a prophet because I basically called the Jackets' 3rd goal, didn't I, earlier in the game. Unfortunately for me. A +8 in the line score. Wasn't expecting that. 863 save percentage. But you know what? No matter what the save percentage, victory is always sweet. We get started on the right foot against the Columbus Blue Jackets with a dominating 8-3 victory. Merzlikins was nowhere to be found in this game, nor was the Jackets' defense either, for that matter. Their offense found a way to sneak 3 past us on just 22, but, you know, one of those goals going through the arm and the torso, that's just down to the game. There was also an odd rebound that I couldn't get to the second chance, and then there was the one off the face-off that my goalie, again, in the game, should have just had a save on that.